Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerd Soup Podcast. I'm your host, Bo Oliver. What are you telling me to raise the volume? What are you, the audio?
I was want to do it.
Oh. I look over. You have headphones on. Hello, everybody. This is Mickey's Playhouse.
I did that once. Just like him, dude. Oh my god,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
I do Goofy too. That's what they get for. No, I'm just.
Oh,
let's keep that in the back pocket. Well, hello, everybody. It's good to be back. Our first podcast back from our little sabbatical. Teddy and Aaron were out on vacation visiting family. I was here just waiting for them to return, but I'm glad you guys are back.
I wish it was like that. I would kill for a vacation right now.
You would kill?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I've got 2 vacations planned this month, so.
You do?
This month?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Fire Island for a week and then DC for a week.
Fire Island's not a vacation.
I got a house.
That's a getaway.
With who? You friends or family?
My friends.
Who?
Didn't we ask you? You didn't want to come.
Yeah, I work.
Yeah, I was gonna wait. Aren't you included in that?
I work. I was included in it, but I work. I work.
Yeah, so do I. We work for a living.
Not a
over
week.
here.
Like 4 days each.
Oh, 4
But
days.
2 separate weeks.
Okay, that's not bad. Where's the other one? DC?
Yeah.
You going hit up some museums?
Who are you going with? Friends?
Yeah.
Who?
We'll talk about it later.
Nationals game?
You should do that.
The Yanks are in town or the Mets. I'll check it out.
Okay. Let's
Probably
move on.
not. All right.
So, what are we talking about first today? Oh, big news, controversial news. James Gunn has announced that he has been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and he already wrote the script because he's always given updates on his Twitter and Instagram.
You still use it?
What?
You still use the script?
No, right? Would you? No, right? You can't. You got to get somebody. If it's good. Just change the name.
Yeah.
Just get
Backspace.
somebody on it to write one line. It's like it's a co-written script.
It's like, you copied my homework, but change it up a little so you don't get caught.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the whole thing is, I don't know. So you guys are familiar with what happened, right?
Yeah.
With the tweets, with the controversial tweets from some of them for 6 years ago,
Yeah, because
10
James
years ago.
Gunn is very political on Twitter, very anti-Trump. And
Only recently, though, because for many years he never made any political statements.
I mean, I hate when people say, "Oh, you're in Hollywood or you're an athlete. Stick to acting. Just shut up and dribble." American citizens, you have a right to say what's on your mind. Like, and people obviously got mad, Trump supporters, and they went back in time. Well, they went back in his tweets.
Man,
Yeah,
maybe there is something to this Trump.
It's like,
guy.
all right, we're gonna get this bastard.
That's what they're using time travel for.
Yeah,
to
yeah. So
bring down James Gunn.
they took his tweets and they found some, not so great tweets, which is kind of weird. A bunch of Trump supporters. I thought they liked all guns. You got it.
Satire.
Yeah, it's funny, right?
Oh my God.
That's good stuff, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, the tweets, to me, I guess we'll just give our opinions on the whole matter. Disney took action. They removed him from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and people have been saying, oh, this is a company that still has employed Johnny Depp, who's been accused of beating his wife. They employ other people that aren't, I think there was somebody else, too. I don't know. Walt Disney himself. And he wasn't so hot back in his day.
2 things. I think the first thing is maybe they just didn't want him anymore, and this is their way of getting rid of him.
No way. They made this guy the head of the cosmic universe. He was going to basically be like Feige Jr.
All right, so scratch that.
All right,
now,
so
the second
tweets.
Now go on to number 2.
Wait, now the second thing is I don't understand how all these famous people, actors, sports players, politicians, I don't know how they get caught with past tweets. How do you not go back and delete these tweets? Delete your Twitter. How are these tweets getting surfaced? Like, are you that stupid to not delete these?
That's the thing, too. He's apologized for this before. He apologized for this 6 years ago in 2012, which is weird because that was when he was hired to write and direct the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's also why I'm saying maybe they just didn't want him anymore. Maybe they made a mistake
just
and now
gave him
this is their
such
way
a
out.
big promotion.
Unless it's something behind the scenes that happened that we don't know about, I don't see that happening because the
No, I
Guardians
think it's
are...
a Twitter mob. I think it's just them
media?
responding to public reception.
Well, the tweets aren't. They aren't.
Media is now.
The tweets aren't great. I mean, let's be honest. And they're not like. It's so weird because if these were funny, like Louis C.K. had jokes like this, South Park does jokes like this, and people laugh it off and say it's sad. Like they're not serious about it.
And look at Louis C.K. now. Everybody loves him.
Well, yeah, that's probably not the best example, but I mean, and he even said like, it was 9 years ago. It was a time where I was just trying to be edgy and funny. they weren't funny. So I mean, and
That's the thing.
But he
weren't
realized
funny.
that too, though.
But he kept the content of the jokes. He just kept going back to those same jokes.
yeah,
And none
the
of them-
first two don't pick up traction. Maybe
Maybe cut it out, guys.
yes.
Yeah, try something like who's the demographic that he's trying to reach out to?
I don't know. They weren't great, and I started thinking too, like Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills, on draft day. People went back to his tweets that he had in high school, and there were some racial slurs and things like that. Some were rap lyrics, some were quotations, and a lot of people were saying, he was just a kid. He was in high school, and I kind of had I saw about this James Gunn 9 years ago, and I thought the same thoughts I had for Josh Allen at first. He's a kid. You're still in your bubble when you're in high school, and once you escape into the real world, that's when you ingratiate yourself with different cultures, meet new people, and you change as a person. But then I realized James Gunn's 50,
Yeah,
and he was 40 when he made these tweets, and I'm like, all right, you probably should know better at that age. But Twitter was still new.
Media wasn't the way it was back then either.
Yeah, I guess, but still.
and he also
is it
wasn't
right
as
to
famous.
say if no one's going to see it, but you still say it? Does that make it right?
No.
So I don't know.
Synchronized no right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're feeling good
we're
right
on
now.
the same fucking page.
It's gonna be a good review.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would have fired him because I don't think it's a fireable offense. Because once again, too, he wasn't famous back then when he was tweeting these things. Now he is a public figure. So many people know him, and that's kind of the gift and the curse of Twitter is that these directors that you probably wouldn't have known 15, 20 years ago, because how many truly A-list directors are there? There's not many. So James Gunn has become a voice. He's become one of the faces of the MCU.
Interacting with Mark Hamill on Twitter and all this kind of
and
stuff.
the fans. He always does Facebook Live. He's always answering questions. He's always challenging people to find the Easter eggs in his movies. And he's written two of the most beloved MCU movies. You can make the case that the Guardians of the Galaxy is the cornerstone of the MCU because every movie after it has taken influence from it. But I was saying he should have just gotten Cole Perlman to write his tweets and then taken credit for them because that's kind of what he did for the first Guardian script. But beyond that, how is it going to affect the MCU moving forward? I don't know. It's because he was promoted. He was given a big position. He was going to head their cosmic universe, and they're going cosmic. They've already done it with Infinity War. They're going to do it with Captain Marvel.
I wonder how far it sets him back though now.
You think Guardians 3 gets pushed back?
Yeah. And that's got to fuck some shit
Well,
up.
do you think he should have been fired for this? I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
thought it
so
was just going to
either.
brush over, honestly. I didn't expect this.
I think maybe if he didn't apologize for it 6 years ago, maybe. But the fact that it got resurfaced and now he's getting fired, that's a little suspect. That's fucked up.
Thing is, there should have been they should have given him a chance to maybe actually make a public apology, maybe show that he was actually sincere and, explain to the people. He just did it in like 5 tweets and he was kind of blaming everyone else. Like, oh no, I changed. I didn't do anything. It didn't feel like an actual sincere apology. I think they should have gave him time. They should have went over it. It was very, very reactionary. And let's be honest. I mean, people make jokes. That doesn't make them that. He's not a pedophile.
He didn't commit a crime.
Because he made pedophile jokes. He just had he had a sick sense of humor. It's not the most appeasing head of your franchise, especially for a Disney corporation. But like you said, Johnny Depp and things like that.
It's kind of like there's no right answer.
Oh, the guy who runs Pixar, John Lasseter.
What happened to him?
He was accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment. They put him on 6-month leave, and now he's back as a consultant, and he's going to be let go at the end of the year. So this guy gets This guy was literally accused of crimes within the workplace.
Exactly.
And he gets a 6-month paid vacation. James Gunn makes tweets 10 years ago. He's fired on the spot.
It's the same as the NFL.
That's ridiculous to me.
Like, there's no right answer, and I don't think they'll ever get it right.
Oh yeah, like
You,
the Dolphins.
be consistent.
you punish, yeah, exactly. Be consistent, but you punish certain people one way.
It's like giving a 4-game suspension for kneeling and giving a 4-game suspension for beating your wife.
Yeah,
Like
there's no right answer,
it's
but be consistent.
yeah.
If you didn't fire him 6 years ago, don't fire him now.
Yeah, and before this with James Gunn, he's never gotten in trouble. He's never said anything that was so provocative on Twitter or controversial, aside from his Trump tweets. But that's every celebrity. If every celebrity got fired for Trump tweets, there would be nobody entertaining us. It would just be like Mark Dice and Ben Shapiro and them just going back and forth on their videos, which I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like the Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. of the alt-right. Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Do you think he should have got fired?
No, I don't think he should have got fired. I think they brought more attention to it by firing him because he was trending #1 today. Like
I saw it last night and there was not a peep on Twitter.
Yeah. So I think that's why I thought it was like, it was a stupid thing to do The
Well, like
tweets
you
were
saw-
in poor taste.
You saw that his tweets got resurfaced and there wasn't a peep, and then now they fired him.
Well,
and now
I
it's
saw-
there was a
crazy.
peep, but
I
it
saw-
wasn't
I
a
saw-
national story.
I saw his tweets responding to something. I'm like, oh great, what did he do?
Yeah.
And
He
I
got
saw
fired
back-
today.
today,
yeah.
And I saw the tweets. I'm like, all right, this is not great, but let's see what he has to say. It's 10 years ago. It's so hard to tell what these corporations should do. Disney has to act fast, and I guess they decided to fire him. And whatchamacallit, Sony canceled his Comic-Con.
Yeah, saw that too. He had something in the works. It looked like a horror movie or something. Yeah, and if you've seen, I forget the name of his earlier film. I think it's called Super. It's a brutal movie, and it's an R-rated movie, and it's very controversial and polarizing. So he's known for this. People know him from Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel. Not necessarily family friendly, but lighter tone than his earlier work.
I think he'll work again eventually.
Me too, but I think
Woody Allen could still work. I think James Gunn could probably still work. And Woody Allen actually did what he was tweeting about.
But I almost feel,
well, allegedly.
I'm not defending what he was tweeting about, even though I feel that there is no line for comedy, but it does have to be funny. It has to be clever. And it was kind of bizarre that he just kept going back to these same jokes. But I kind of feel bad for him, if I'm going to be completely honest. James Gunn. Because I liked him as one of the voices of the MCU. I did. I enjoyed following him on Twitter because he was so interactive with the fans. And you could tell that he truly loved comics, specifically Marvel comics. And he was so knowledgeable about them. And I think it's a little disappointing.
You think
And I
DC
feel
picks
bad
him
for
up?
I was thinking that too. Maybe DC
With
gets
the
him.
waiver wire? Pick up James Gunn?
Yeah, that would be, pulls a Carmelo. Gets bought out by Marvel. Well, I guess that's it for the James Gunn story. We'll move on to another big story that I wanted to talk about that happened, that was announced last week, but it was confirmed that Joaquin Phoenix will be playing the Joker in a standalone Joker movie. It's just going to be a one-off, an Elseworlds movie, not connected to the DCEU. I could see you thinking. You want to say something?
I think it's weird. No, well, like what you just said. Like,
That's
it's
weird,
weird.
man.
Right, they're gonna do a
That's freaky.
standalone film and not connected with the DC universe. I don't get how you do that.
Oh, Todd Phillips is directing, right?
Yeah, Todd. Good old Toddy.
Good old. Wasn't Scorsese?
Supposed to produce, now he's not.
Okay. It is very weird, Teddy. But it's just it just speaks to the dysfunction of the DCEU, where they have an actor already as the Joker that can do an own origin film, but they go elsewhere and completely disassociate to the larger DCEU and make another Joker origin. And Jared Leto is still going to be the future Joker in the DCEU. How does that make sense? So they don't trust him enough to do an origin film with him, but they trust him enough to go forward as their Joker in the DCEU. Makes no sense.
But what is doing that standalone film accomplishing? Is it doing anything besides getting money? Like, is that all they want to do is try and get money from this? Like,
Maybe they think,
I think it's more artistic.
yeah, it's going to be
does
lower,
DC just not even care?
lower
I
budget,
guess?
fresh faces. Maybe if it's a good movie, it inspires more hope for the larger DCEU and for Warner Brothers to keep going. So if this movie does well and it's critically loved and people like it, then people are like, all right, DC's back. Let's make another shitty movie.
I'm thinking you make Joaquin Phoenix the Riddler.
What's with you and the Riddler? Didn't you say you wanted Jared Leto to be the Riddler?
Yeah, but I changed it to Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, it was last night. It was
Yeah.
Jared Leto. I think Jared Leto would be a better Riddler. I was with you at the beginning. Now you're just all over the place.
Man.
And I don't mind, like, Jared Leto, people are like, oh, he's the worst Joker ever. He had, 5 minutes of fucking screen time?
Yeah, I don't
With
get
a
that
shitty
too.
script?
Gyllenhaal will be a good.
Let's give him a
Riddler.
real chance. What about it? All right, Joker movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal, directed by Denis Villeneuve. That would put butts in
Fell in the
seats.
weave.
Villeneuve?
Who's that?
Villeneuve.
I don't understand this idea too that Joaquin Phoenix is a more prestigious actor than Jared Leto. Jared Leto's the one with the Oscar. Okay, if we're gonna compare resumes, I think Jared Leto is just as good, if not better, than Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix is a fine actor, but this idea that he's the best actor since Daniel Day-Lewis, or he's just this amazing, it's amazing that he's going to take on this comic book character. We should all be so thrilled. And I don't mind the Elseworld story because I think if they want to do a smaller budget, $55 million, Scorsese was going to produce, now he's not.
But do you just like the idea of an origin film for the Joker? Isn't that part of his mystique?
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to see that at all.
Exactly.
And if you are going to do that, you already have an actor who's played the Joker. You want no beef? You want no beef?
Danny Day-Lewis couldn't fucking deliver on that script.
Big hunka. That's a bad movie. That's a bad fucking movie. I like David Ayer. No, I don't.
I fucking hate David Ayer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ridiculous. If you're going to do the origin story, you have a guy who can play the Joker, who I think is, I don't know why he gets all this hate all of a sudden. Everybody hates Jared Leto. Yeah,
I don't
it's
get
so
that.
weird.
People hate Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's a great actress.
Jennifer Lawrence is Batgirl. There you go. There's your Joker. And also, I don't want to see The Killing Joke adapted. They did it in the cartoon. It stunk.
Yeah.
The Killing Joke is not that good of a comic.
Well, the Red Hood is kind of more of a...
Yeah, but that's...
Isn't that a Joker origin too? Don't they show scenes of how he had...
Yeah, he was the original one with the...
Yeah, and then he fell into the
helmet.
I kind of like that, because then we make it... Maybe we get some Red Hood.
That's The Killing Joke as well. That's taken... It's not the same thing, but it takes influence from The Killing Joke.
Okay.
I don't need to see Joker influence. And now I hear people on the anniversary of The Dark Knight saying, oh, the Joker in The Dark Knight had no weight. We didn't understand his motivations. What? Because he didn't have any backstory.
Crime. There's not supposed to be backstory. You're supposed to wonder.
It's supposed to be ambiguous.
How he changes the stories of how he got the scars.
Yeah, it makes you imagine which one is real, his wife or his dad.
Like, I want to see what made him this fucking crazy. Yeah, it's probably going to be some sick, twisted shit, so get ready.
Yeah, and it
better be rated R, too.
It's got to be. It's going to be rated R.
Okay.
But then, I mean, Joker without Batman, it's kind of like if some studio was dumb enough to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man. I don't know. It's just a weird world.
Joker is a hell of a lot more interesting and more popular than Venom.
I don't know if he's necessarily more interesting. He's definitely more popular. I mean, the best Venom movie that came out this year, and we'll see if this other one is good, but Upgrade already kind of made a really good Venom movie, and we'll see if it can beat it. But yeah, Joker.
It wasn't too hot on Upgrade. It was all right.
It's a lot better than Skyscraper.
We'll get to that. Easy.
Wait, honestly, you think Skyscraper is better than Upgrade?
No. I just had people like Upgrade, oh, this movie's really good. Like, it's going to be sick. But it was all right. It was fun. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah, that's what makes me upset with you, is that you get so enthusiastic about movies that you admit aren't as good as other movies, but then you can't compliment the movie that you know is better. You did that perfectly with
just now.
Civil War and Batman v Superman. You had nothing but bad things to say about Civil War, even though you admitted it was better than Batman v Superman. No, he hates Civil War. He can't stand it.
I don't hate Civil War.
But he never says anything bad about Batman v Superman.
What do you like about it?
I don't hate it. I
despises it.
Oh, are you fucking with me now?
It was so funny, though. I always tell this story in the theater for Batman v Superman when the Civil War trailer came up. Some guy in the back of the theater was like, yeah! And everybody starts like cheering, like, oh, yeah. And at the end of the trailer, Aaron turns to me and he's like, it fucking pisses me off how good that movie's going to be. All right, let's go to Skyscraper, because that's the movie that we saw this weekend. The new, as you like to call it, the Rock vehicle.
Yeah, it's a
Rock vehicle.
Rock.
Tanked at the box office. Are we going into spoilers?
We'll do spoiler.
Spoiler review.
Can you finally put time codes in? So, because if someone didn't see it, they want to see Sorry to Bother You, what you're doing next, I can skip right to that.
Yeah, we won't spoil Skyscraper for you. We won't let you know if the building collapses or if Dwayne Johnson saves the day or if its kids die.
Yeah, you don't care about anything, do you?
He said, he's raising the question. That's the plot of the movie. He has to save his kids from burning building.
The way you're saying it, though, people aren't stupid.
Well, put the time fucking codes in. On the podcast 2 description, you don't do that. It makes me upset that our fans have to go through this.
I don't think you care, really.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't care. I bring it up every time. He's the one that ignores me.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
He's
man of the
time
people.
Code guy.
Man of the people.
God loves those hyperlinks.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
Because if I want to watch Sorry to Bother You, but I didn't see Skyscraper, I'm like, oh, I don't want this. Click.
Yeah, then you're stuck skipping around. Then you got to find out where it starts.
That's why you got time codes.
Oh, yeah. Time. I think start doing time codes for every one of our videos.
Yeah.
So Skyscraper.
Skyscraper?
I said Skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
What did I say?
Skyscraper. The Dwayne The Rock Johnson tanked at the box office.
Nah, it didn't open in
Stop
China
saying
yet.
that.
Tanked. Didn't open in China. Is that what he's become? He's just the man of the people in China. He's the China's champ.
Listen.
He's the people's champ.
China.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
he's looking more like, I don't know if the people like him anymore because they're not going to see his movies. Hotel Transylvania beat our
fucking
movie.
theater.
It's a kid's
movie.
movie.
The movie came out a week ago and our theater was packed.
It was packed because it was a small theater. Put that
excuses.
crowd in an IMAC.
You're making excuses.
I'm making excuses?
It's not an that's not an IMAX movie.
Size doesn't matter.
That's not an IMAX.
I said it could be an IMAX movie. I said it right.
This guy. Skyscrapers.
I said it could be.
All right, you put that crowd in an IMAX theater, it's nothing. And we all thought it was sold out, and we left the theater, and then we came back.
Well, that's the drawing power of The Rock, because we were going to see the other movie because they were sold out. What's it called again?
Leave No Trace.
that has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then the ticket taker's like, well, no, it's not sold out or whatever. And we're like, oh, back to the shitty Rock movie.
No, we saw the shitty Rock movie because the title of this podcast, if it was James Gunn fired from Guardians 3, Leave No Trace review, then it's not going to be as hot. So we're forced to talk about, even though I say it all the time, you are very sensitive about The Rock. Can I say my piece? I root for The Rock. I love The Rock. I know The Rock.
Well, how about this next week?
I root for his movies. I wish he made better movies because I want him to be our Schwarzenegger. He kind of already is by default.
How about this title for next week's video? It's gonna do big numbers. Martin Scorsese takes over for James Gunn. Mamma Mia review. You think a mil or two?
Just you?
You guys don't want to see with me?
Yeah, that seems like a you and Tony the robot.
I don't want to see Mamma
Boot
Mia.
him up in the closet.
I'm fucking going tomorrow. I don't care.
Dancing
Start him up for that.
Queen.
Straight bangers.
Mamma Mia.
love
I'm a
that.
big Lily James fan.
Here I go again.
Yeah.
Skyscraper. What did you guys think? I'll let you guys start because I think you guys were more hot on it than I was.
Is that a fire pun?
No, it wasn't a fire pun.
That's good though.
I like
Yeah,
it.
you like that? Just unintentional.
I thought it was fun. I mean, I certainly wasn't going in there looking for a fucking box office fucking blitz. Like, think it was gonna be the next fucking.
Well, that's what it is.
Wait,
It's supposed to be a plot.
Wait. Yeah, what?
You know what I meant? Like
Define
the
a box office blitz.
like Mission Impossible. There's gonna be a big one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like I didn't think it was gonna be anything crazy. I went in there knowing it was just gonna be a lot of action, and I'm going in to see The Rock kick
Yeah.
ass and fucking save the day.
For me, it's like, all right,
And I was happy with it.
yeah. It's a summer blockbuster starring The Rock in a burning building. All right, yeah, I'm fucking all
No,
in.
that's great. No, great premise.
I'm
yeah.
not. I don't have
Yeah, you
expectations.
sold me on the premise.
It's a Rock.
No, you should have expectations.
It's a Rock. It was fun. I had fun with it. It wasn't the greatest movie ever. The script wasn't that great. But still,
I'm not saying it has to be the greatest movie ever. I'm saying it has to be a clever action movie.
I thought it was fun. I had fun. I thought there was some good action.
But you thought it was
sequences.
clever.
I like the whole concept of the world's biggest building with the hotel, and it's
Great
the
concept.
Pearl.
No, concept
You
was
know,
great. 10
you know
out of 10.
the whole.
You're
what's
telling me
the
you
one
have the
we're trying to
world's
say?
tallest building, and the only clever action sequence they can think of was put The Rock in a fun house with a bunch of fun mirrors.
A hell of a scene.
They're like, that's what we're
I
going to
thought
do.
you
We
liked
have
that scene.
You know what we're going to do? We have this giant building. We have all the world's potential. We're going to get a bunch of people in a room. What's some clever futuristic tech things that we can put The Rock in? What are some situations that we can put him in? Let's make a fun house. And let's give him a sword.
That was awesome.
It's
I
sort of-
loved it. I loved like the little
That was a
cheesy
little
parts. It was
far-fetched.
so
No, there was no cheese.
There was a little cheese.
No, it was very lactose intolerant.
You don't think that last line was cheesy? When he's like, "Oh, one
No,
more
do you know
thing.
what that line
I'm
should have
behind
been? You forgot one thing. I have a fucking sword. That would have been even better.
That was so
He
great
used-
because in the first scene, he's talking to guys like, yeah, I haven't picked up a gun since the incident. I put down my sword.
That's cheesy.
I put down my sword, so to speak. And at the end of the movie, he picks up his sword and then he grabs a gun.
No, but that's not cheesy enough.
I'm like, yes.
There was no clever. What's the clever one-liner in this? What's the iconic line coming out of Skyscraper? That's iconic. You forgot one thing. I'm behind you.
Probably the phone.
That's what people
I
are
just
going to
turned
be
it on and
saying
off.
40 years. The phone.
Yeah, I turned it on and off.
Oh my god, when they set that up at the beginning.
But like, what do you? It's The Rock in a burning fucking skyscraper with a fucking
but-
axe. I love. Give me more of that.
No, but it wasn't clever. The action sequence they weren't memorable. There was nothing memorable about this movie. There
think
When
it
he
wasn't-
was hanging by one hand and he slipped right with the other, my heart skipped a beat.
I
Why?
think it was just more memorable.
Did you think he was going to die?
Maybe.
That's the thing that you need to. You
I don't
need
like
to trick,
heights either, so it's
you
kind
need
of
to
like.
trick the audience into thinking that this character is going to fail. That's why if you're going to rip off Die Hard, I have no problem with that. Die Hard on steroids, great. You have to up the ante. You have to up the action. You have to up the cheesy lines. They didn't do any of that. They
But
had the great
to be fair,
presence,
too,
but it was lazy. It was lazy writing. It wasn't cheesy enough. It was
the-
just so basic.
I listened to an interview with the director on what was it? I think it was Lights Camera Pod or whatever, and he said that it's not Shakespeare. He's just making a
I'm not
cheesy
saying it has to be
homage
Shake-
to the
I'm-
'90s. He inspired.
Yeah,
from,
it was a bad homage
from Die Hard
It was
and-
that's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing it to Macbeth. I keep comparing it to cheesy movies from the 90s, and it just wasn't as clever. It was very dull.
I just kept getting hyped. Like when he's like, I'm gonna need to hold the bridge myself, and he just grabbed. Oh, I was like, yes.
The bridge wasn't even collapsing.
But I don't care. The
You
Rock.
gotta have your shirt off. You
Yeah, you gotta pop the top, Rock.
Seriously.
What did that do for you? Because he was holding.
If his shirt was off,
He was holding a bridge that wasn't collapsing.
It was
actually liked
collapsing.
And when he had the
No, it
duct
wasn't.
tape,
It was
The
like
side that she was
fine.
on.
when he had the duct tape, I'm like, oh, please, Spider-Man this building. And he Spider-Man it. I'm like, yes, give me more of this type of weird stuff.
Yeah, but that wasn't. Mission Impossible already did that. You haven't seen that one.
I'm waiting. The counting in this movie was a little suspect. He's like, all right, pull the lever in 5 seconds when we dropped this elevator. Counted 5 seconds in like 15 seconds, and then waited another 5 seconds to actually pull the lever.
What scene is more non-believable? The fact that he scaled 100 stories with duct tape, or when Vin Diesel stomped the garage down in Fast and Furious?
See, that's some good cheese. Thing about a street fight is street always wins. Stomps a parking garage, and Jason Statham survives. That's the pinnacle of cheesy movie
Well,
acting.
The Rock's a fucking Avenger in every film he's in, and everyone just accepts it. He's like, oh,
Or
he's
the
the
fact
Rock.
that he scaled with one leg up that crane.
Or like even the jump.
Oh, big jump guy.
We all knew he was going to make the jump. There's no tension in that movie.
My favorite is the inspector the whole time. He's commentating on his thing. He's like, so he's trying to get into the building. What gave you that fucking idea, guy?
He's mid-jump. I think he's jumping towards that building.
What else?
It's like, oh, why is he climbing?
I was gonna say,
He's trying to get over the
pissed
fire
off.
line. When he's over the fire line.
Yeah.
Oh, the fact that he found his fucking kids. That he found his kids so fast in a burning building. That
Well,
he
no, that
scaled.
just showed to his intelligence because he saw the maps. Like, ooh, where would I go if I was my wife? Probably this way.
She was good. I thought she was
Yeah.
the best part of the movie.
I thought
Neve
The Rock.
Campbell.
I did Dwayne.
How old is she? She's like 40 something.
Neve Campbell, she's got to be in her 40s, yeah.
Why does it matter, Ted?
No, it is cool. I think it's when you give an older woman like that a major role in a blockbuster. It sucks that it was terrible, but even The Rock, I think he's getting tired.
I thought he was good.
I
A lot
think
better
he's
than he
making-
was in Rampage.
Every line kind of just felt off for me.
He showed some emotion. He was getting beat up the whole movie. Like, he kept facing.
And I
different
usually
things.
defend him as an actor, and his delivery was it's a little off for me.
It's nothing.
Do you think if he keeps doing movies like this, he's just gonna fizzle
Oh
out?
yeah, eventually, because the box office for this already. I mean, it got beat by Hotel Transylvania.
It's a kids movie though.
Yeah.
No, it only made $40 million.
It's still a kids
That's a
movie.
bad haul for a kids movie. That's not a Pixar haul. Not even close.
It's still a kids movie though.
What's your point?
But the hotel.
So The Rock
Transylvania's
just
do
came
good,
off
though.
$1 billion for Jumanji, but now we give him a pass because he went up against Hotel Transylvania.
It's a big matchup.
You're telling me
It's
You know
a
the
big
funny-
fuck- it's a big fucking.
You know what the funny
David
thing is?
Goliath
is that a
right there.
2K matchup for you? It's a matchup nightmare
Found the mouse in the
when you're
house.
guarding
right
a power forward. What are you gonna say?
It was so funny too because when we first saw the trailer, the first time I ever seen the trailer, we were in the theater, and it's The Rock putting on his prosthetic leg. I'm like, I look at Bo. I'm like, he's going for the Oscar, isn't he? And the trailer that ensued was Skyscraper. I couldn't have been more wrong.
There was controversy with that, right? People were getting pissed off that he was playing a disabled guy.
Well, The Rock user, I think he took an interview on it, and he said, well, hopefully this, helps people realize that people with disabilities can overcome a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That was his role. How he got over his hump, I guess. Like he was an ex-military, ex-firefighter. He was like ex-military, ex-FBI.
Ex-firefighter.
And he makes a bad choice with his team, ruined a few lives, but he picked himself up. And the villain didn't pick himself up.
well,
anyone
Villain
can do
Jace,
it.
he was in the movie for
Wait,
5
who
minutes.
was the villain?
Russian
That's
accent.
another thing. If
He set it up, so I guess he's the
Russian
villain.
accent guy, he was Scandinavian.
Ben,
okay?
I think his name was.
Bota?
No, Ben, his friend.
Oh yeah, that guy. Well, he's on. I mean, that's the thing. You have a cheesy movie, you need a cheesy great villain.
Oh, there was no great villain in there.
No, there was terrible villains. Where's Christoph Waltz?
The more that we're talking about it, the more I'm not liking it. I still love The Rock, but the
Would
movie,
you ever watch this movie again?
Not a fucking.
I want both of your answers.
You gotta
Would you
get
buy
Movie Pass.
Would you
I said
buy it
no.
on Blu-ray? No.
No.
Okay then.
What are we,
Would you?
Jeremy Johns?
Would you? I feel like you
thank
would.
you.
That's
just
his
to have it.
shtick.
Skyscraper?
Yeah.
Hell to the motherfucking no.
But you would just to have it though.
I just bought the Dark Knight trilogy on 4K, even
How
though
come?
I already own it on Blu-ray. Oh, how come? Because I'm at Best Buy and I find the Dark Knight on 4K. I'm like, oh, 10th anniversary, get 4K. Just got the 4K TV. And Ted over here is like, oh, look, they have the whole trilogy. I'm
Yeah,
like, now,
well-
now I got to buy the whole fucking trilogy.
But think about it. The Dark Knight alone was 37. And
It's 27.
37.
I don't know why. What 4K Blu-ray is $37?
It's The Dark Knight. But anyway, all right, 27. Then the trilogy is 67. It's a good deal.
And then Ted's like, oh, here's Avatar with 8 hours of extra footage.
You don't want that?
Jesus Christ.
I almost
No,
bought
of course
Dragon-
I want it.
I almost bought the Dragon Ball Z set. I almost bought the Dragon Ball Z set.
Say
What
it
did you
again?
almost buy?
No, I thought that second one wasn't good either. I almost bought that Dragon Ball Z set.
You know all three are staying in,
Yeah,
right?
you're not
No,
cutting
There's
this.
not a chance. No.
Yeah.
Check that out.
It's too funny.
I think all of Dragon Ball Z costs like $200 on Amazon. It's not bad.
I guess so. I only want like the first 5 seasons.
Is that our next episode revisited?
Dragon Ball Z lost me when I like, oh, it's coming back, and they all have blue hair. I'm like, oh, I'm way too fucking
Yeah.
lost on this.
I want to go back to like the pink guy. What's his name?
Majin Buu.
Majin Buu.
Yeah. And like the Mewtwo looking guy.
Cell.
Does it sell? Yeah.
Even after we said Majin Buu, you still weren't sure of yourself. We gave you the answer. You're like,
I don't know about that.
yeah. Now that Frieza battle, man. How many episodes is that? It's like 27 episodes.
To fight.
Yeah. Frieza's my boy.
What would you give it out of 10?
Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Oh.
Rampage.
Oh,
Skyscraper.
Well, I mean, they're all just blending together at this point. Is it better than Rampage?
Yes.
I don't know. I think I like Rampage a little
Because of that one scene.
because of the rhinoceros beetle.
Yeah.
That's an iconic one angry gorilla. Now, that's a cheesy line. They both stink. I would probably give Rampage a 3 out of 10. I would give this 4 out of 10.
Nice.
I was gonna go 4.5.
Nice.
It's fucking terrible, but the action was great.
Here we go.
I gave it a 6.2.
Ugh. The fact that
That's high.
that it rounds
That's
up to
high.
10 is it's embarrassing.
It's not high. 6.2 is trash. And that's like, okay, it's fun. You know?
6.2 is like
I had fun with it. It was entertaining, and I gave it a 6.2. Not the best movie I've ever seen. It's towards the bottom of my list. I've been rating higher a little bit.
you know what just
I
stinks
have a different scale than you
is
guys.
that the ceiling for that movie could have been really high.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Great premise. Oh, my God.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please tell me you meant to say that.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%.
you kidding?
I had that written down and I'm waiting to bring that out at the opportune moment. No, but I totally
The
agree.
body was there, you know.
Yes, the premise was there. This could have been so cheesy and schlocky and fun and iconic. It could have been. It wasn't funny either. There was no funny. What was the best line when he climbs
Duct
a building and when he makes the jump?
No.
And it pans over to that one guy and he's like, "Yes."
No.
Why do you say yes in English?
If you ever used duct, no. What was that line? If you didn't use, duct,
Oh, if you're gonna use,
It's
if you
not
can't
sticking?
fix something with duct tape, you're probably not using enough duct tape.
I
Who's
felt
he talking
that
to?
one. I felt that. In the
You know
heart.
what? If you look around my room like a couple weeks ago, that was
Oh my God.
that was the fucking truth. I had a lot of duct tape hanging around.
All right, Teddy. You
It's
did
like a
good.
Duct tape jungle.
Thanks, man.
But we're going to move on to a good movie we saw that you
Yeah.
didn't see.
I gotta go anyway.
Hell yeah.
So,
All right, guys. I'll see you around. Next movie.
Ted, it's always an honor.
Ted, you're
Pleasure.
fired.
I'm not fired. You don't have the power. You don't got the balls.
Want to test me?
I say that.
Yeah,
you
that's
can say
fine.
balls, Ted. I'm pretty sure I said fuck 5
Ted,
times.
I think you might want to go delete your Twitter,
What?
just in case
Oh yeah.
we piss off any alt-right groups.
Bye, guys. Oh, follow me on Twitter. I gotta change my name. It's really tough. Teddy Etor. No one knows what the fuck that is. Is there a process to change it to just like Teddy Nerd Soup?
Yeah, you go to settings.
All right. I'll update it. I'll let you guys know.
All right, Ted.
All right.
All right, get out.
All right. Bye.
All right, lock the door.
That popcorn's been there for 2 days. Why is he eating it?
It's disgusting.
It's gross.
See ya.
See you, Ted.
Later, Ted.
He's a good kid, but he's troubled.
Man.
We'd have to stage an intervention. Yeah, so sorry to bother you. The last topic on this podcast, a movie by Boots Riley, formerly of the hip hop group. I don't know if he's still in it, The Coup. Never even heard of them until I saw the movie. I saw it with my cousin. He was like, Boots Riley, that name sounds familiar. He's part of The Coup, an Oakland-based radical hip hop group. So sorry to bother you. I think the trailers were very misleading. This is a movie that I absolutely loved, but when I saw the trailer, I thought, oh, this is just going to be a quirky black comedy. But it was really absurd. It was surreal at times. It was scary. It was disturbing. It was a great satire and commentary on modern capitalism. And the performances, the writing, everything about this movie, I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's probably going to crack my top 5 if I sat down and actually made my list. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. What did you think?
Yeah, it's at number 6 for me so far this year. It might go up on a second viewing because it's very fast. Yeah, I think I need to go back and rewatch it just to catch all the references and all the jokes.
Well, I invited you to go back and you didn't want to.
Well, we had to go see Skyscraper.
Yeah.
And that was
How
a
unfortunate.
hell of a time. Yeah, like you said, the trailer was a little misleading. I was pumped for the trailer. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a weird, out there comedy. And it was 10 times that, and I loved every second of it. It was funny. It made you think. Like a lot of the times, and it was intentional, I feel, where they would make a joke that you would laugh at, and then you would kind of like think about that joke, and you're like, oh wait, this has a little bit of a deeper meaning. It's funny on the outside. When you delve deeper, it's a thought-provoking subject. And then once you're done thinking of that, another joke happens and does the same thing. All the performances were great. I thought Lakeith Stanfield, he's a good up-and-coming star. He was great in it. Tessa Thompson, great as always. Armie Hammer. I definitely enjoyed this film a lot.
Yeah, and I was impressed by how they combined just traditional mainstream comedy with the themes that they were going for in this movie, because there were a lot of great one-liners. It felt like a combination of those early 2000s, mid-2000s Judd Apatow comedies, and almost like a couple weeks ago for the first time I saw a Jean-Luc Godard film called Weekend, and this film reminded me, it was almost like the American version of Weekend, because they're both very timely, but Weekend is a film that you can watch today and you can still relate it to what's going on in today's world.
To me, it reminded me of Idiocracy a little bit, and Terry Crews is in both. And it's not subtle at all, which I think makes sense for this film. It's so it's in your face about it, like you said, political satire on modern capitalism, and definitely a lot of race issues in this as well. With Worry Free offering lifetime jobs for 3 square meals, kind of like a prison slash pseudo slavery type, and the Left Eye radical group going head to head, and the main character has the moral dilemma. He's rising high in the ranks. Should I do this and better myself and make all this money, knowing that what it's doing to the rest of the people? It's a good journey following this character and seeing what his decisions are and how he becomes and how he changes throughout the film. Because at first, like anyone else, like, oh yeah, you're making all this money. You know what you're doing, but you kind of brush it aside. But then you realize, you got to help out the greater good and fight for what you believe in.
Yeah, and there were a lot of creative and clever ways that they told the story using the white voices. Patton Oswalt as his boss, the guy with the eye patch. I always forget that actor's name. But I think he's in that show Power. I think he plays Ghost. And then David Cross, who has one of the great voices in Hollywood, is a little nasally. Hi, I'm here sorry to bother you. I do a good David Cross. Always reminds me of Megamind.
It was so funny. It was very cartoonish too, especially with the football team going around.
Yeah.
You never knew what was going to happen next. And even when it was Lily James, when Tessa Thompson did her Lily James British voice.
Yeah, I thought it was just Tessa Thompson.
Yeah. And that was just such a weird, wacky, surreal scene, and I love that. It took so many different turns, and then a little more lighthearted than that was the reveal that the horse-human hybrids, which...
Was that lighthearted?
Well, the concept is not, but a horse-human hybrid is very cartoonish.
It's cartoonish, but it was a bit disturbing to me when he first found him.
Yeah,
kind of wailing and writhing in pain, and
I guess lighthearted is not the right word.
It was a disturbing image.
Yeah, but
even when he's sitting down,
the idea, like if you tell him about a movie, like and at the end there's gonna be like human horse hybrid, so you're like, oh, that's a little,
Yeah, it's the Equisapiens.
Yeah.
Well, that to me is the funniest line of the movie when he's sitting down with Armie Hammer, Steve Lift. That whole sequence with the party was great. But when he's like, we need somebody to be the bridge between humanity and the Equisapiens. We need the Martin Luther King of the human horse hybrids. And then he realizes what he snorted is actually going to turn him into a horse. And I love how they waited until the very last scene and they have the
That was so
post-credits.
funny, too. He's like showing.
Yeah. He shows up with his boys. Sorry to bother you. But Armie Hammer, to me, the skirt that he was wearing during the party, when he's forcing him to rap, and they're all just chanting, rap, rap, rap.
That was at first it was funny, like I said before, at first I was laughing, then I was just thinking about the position he's in, and it made me feel very uncomfortable.
Well, he would hold the scenes just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable, where another director would have just cut to something else.
Got the laugh and cut.
Yeah. But even when he starts rapping, and obviously we can't...
I should want though. I might download that.
He was bar for bar for bar, just spitting absolute fire.
But even that was like, oh, you're kind of like bobbing your head. In the scene immediately after that is him sitting down, and his boss comes to consult him because he's broken up at this point. Yeah. And he speaks to him in his actual voice. He doesn't use the white voice for the first time. We hear his actual voice and kind of consoles him, but then kind of gives him, you got to go. He wants to see you. And just in that moment, he's broken. He realizes that he just turned his back on his own people and that basically sold his soul for money. It kind of has a moment of realization of that.
Yeah, and it's great when he actually reveals to the world what they're doing, and the world just loves it. It's that they have such a positive reaction to it. The stock for the company goes up. They all can't believe that Steve Lift has made this revolutionary technology, which I thought that was really clever.
I saw this the other day too, like how great Armie Hammer is at playing like a white rich douchebag.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
He's been in, someone said too, I saw this on Twitter, it's like, sorry to bother you, call me by your name, Social Network, Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah.
He's not the forefront of any of those, except for Call Me by Your Name, but he's still in some good movies.
Yeah, and when he's the lead, his movies tend to fail, not because of him, but I think he's just been in some bad movies.
I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. when it's him and Henry Cavill.
Yeah, but I'd like to see, because he's still very young. I think he's only like 32 years old.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Hollywood give him another chance with leading roles. And he's kind of the lead in Call Me by Your Name.
He's going to be in, it's obviously supporting, but I guess lead actor for On the Basis of Sex.
Yeah,
Ruth Bader Ginsburg
but I'd like
movie.
to see him play Batman. I think he was supposed to be Batman in that Justice League movie from 2009 that was going to be directed by George Miller. And he would have been a young Batman, too. That's what I've been clamoring for, a 25-year-old rookie Batman.
It would have been cool because Man from U.N.C.L.E., him and Cavill have great chemistry. And that's the best I think I've seen Henry Cavill until I see Mission Impossible and he cocks those fucking fists. Then that's going to be the best I've seen Cavill. But up until that moment, I thought that was a fun, it wasn't great, but I thought their chemistry and even Cavill's character, I feel like if they let him be more of that character with the Superman portrayal, I think it would have been a little better.
Yeah, now, Lakeith Stanfield in this movie, I loved how he was able to change from his laid-back stoner persona to that very serious, business-like, ready-to-work persona. When he has that conversation with his friend Salvador, who was amazing in this movie, it's some of the funniest lines. I brought all the weapons, all types of weapons. And they're having that back and forth where it's like, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good week, brother. I hope you have a good month. I hope your year is great.
I hope you come up like no one's ever...
But the way he changed his persona, he changes his own speaking voice, because for the first 40 to an hour of the film, he's very laid back. He's kind of mumbling, talking like this, and then he becomes very serious, and his voice gets deeper, and he's more focused. And I was wondering if he had that ability as an actor. Is this going to be his persona in every film moving forward? But you can tell that he is more versatile, especially in this movie. And we know him from Get Out. He's the Get Out guy. But I think that's what you said. You got to keep an eye on that guy because I think he's going to have a great future in this business.
I think Tessa Thompson, too. Not a lot of people know who she is,
best.
but I feel like she's going to blow up soon.
She's coming. She's up and coming. I don't think she's an A-lister, but she's very close.
On the fringe.
Yeah. Men in Black is going to be, if that's good, her and Hemsworth. They had great chemistry in Thor. So, yeah, I love Tessa Thompson. Overall, this is a good movie. I would give it if I had to go decimal, I would say 9 point.
See, I go decimal now because I've seen so many movies. It's so hard to it helps me differentiate between like a bunch of 8s or a bunch of 9s.
Yeah, I would go 9.2.
Yeah,
out of 10.
I gave it a solid 9. It was right there. I really liked it a lot. It's funny. It's quick. It makes you think. Like, not a lot of comedies do that. Either they're funny or they have a message.
Yeah, this is just a great
movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to define it just as a comedy because it does so many other things well.
Oscar buzz?
Possibly. It definitely could get a original screenplay because it was very original, and I love that. The more original, the better it is for me.
All right, so that's it for the Nerd Soup podcast today. I'm glad you guys joined us, and remember, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud and YouTube with a static image. Be great if Aaron would stop playing with that water bottle.
Sorry.
You son of a bitch. Aaron, what do you want to say? Any farewell thoughts? Good to have you here.
Leave in the comments if you want us to do Mamma Mia. Just help me out because I need some support because I want to go see it. Bo's been acting like he doesn't, even though I really think he does. I think Teddy will just like the music. Yeah, put him in a theater, play some music. I'm like, I think it was pretty good.
Is this a bit or is this serious?
Whatever you want it to be.
Well, now I'm kind of freaked out, so I'm just going to go ahead and end this. Bye.